Hey everybody, welcome to Ellis Mowers. I appreciate y'all watching. So I've been pushing my website, ellismowers.com. That's where you can find all my social media links and kind of a little bit about me and my email and all that good stuff. You can also find that in the description below. Thank y'all for all the support as always. This video we're going to work on a Rally brand push mower. It is just a 22-inch side discharge. It's got a broken wheel. From what I can tell, it's got a bunch of water in the engine, so we're going to have to probably do a big old tank cleaning and diaphragm, oil change, got a wire switch, and a couple other things. Make it a nice $50 mower. So we'll go ahead and get started on that. I'll give you a quick look around and do everything we need to do. Alright, so here it is, Rally push mower. 22-inch cut, broken wheel, 3.5 horsepower Briggs & Stratton Classic. I need to put a pull rope on it while I got it here. When I pulled it originally, you can see the water that's just been shooting out of the muffler here. So it's been getting water intrusion from somewhere, most likely from the air filter cover, because there's no air filter in it really, or it's really brittle. And what else do we have? Straight water in the gas tank. How about that? Like full to the brim of water. So let me clear off my bench. Well, let's check the blade. Actually surprisingly sharp. Seems like it's smooth. So let me get this thing on the bench and we'll go ahead and do some surgery to it. See if I can find a wheel for it also. They're pretty universal, so let me see what I can manage here. Alright, let's get started on this. You can see that the spark plug is just completely filled with water. Even if we pull the engine, will it spurt out water? I don't know. This thing's filled with water everywhere. Take the tank off. It's 7/16 in the front, half in the back. Okay. Should have took this off first, but okay, I'm going to take the throttle cable off as well. It's just a 5/8 in the front here, or 5/16 in the front. Okay. Then we're going to bend. I'll show you what tab we're going to bend. This wasn't even on the carburetor at all, the little linkage. So here's the tab that I bent down for the throttle. We're going to just let that be so that it stays kind of a fixed throttle. That's the quick solution to that. So that's already off, so we can just move that out of the way. Oh boy. Just get that right there for right now. Pull this off. Just straight water everywhere. It's crazy. I hope that it has not corroded through the tank, because if that's the case, then we're not going to be able to do anything with this really unless I get a whole nother gas tank. So I'm going to dump this water. I'll be right back. Alright, now I've dumped the water. So going to take these 5 screws off for the carb diaphragm. I can hear the water decompress right there. Wow. This mower was priming too, so it was priming water into the engine. Which means that the carburetor itself is good. Okay. So yeah, we got a little bit of corrosion and gunk right there. We'll get all this is be easily remedied with carb spray. So that is at least. Let's see. Hopefully, fingers crossed, y'all. Hopefully, it's not corroded through this area right here. Nope, looks like we're good. That's excellent. So, I'm just going to take all this awesomeness, get them screws out there. I'm just going to take some carb spray and just clean all these ports out and stuff. And that should be good for us. So I'll go ahead and do that off cam. I'm just going to spray and get all this corrosion and stuff off of this, and then we'll go ahead and put a new diaphragm in it, clean it up, throw it on here, and see how it is. Oil, let's see if there's any water in the oil. Hopefully not. Oh yeah, that's a bunch of crap in there too, so that might be fun. A little bit of seafoam everywhere on this one. Woo! And I gotta find a wheel, so I might do all that real quick and rejoin you in just a second. Alright, y'all, well, we'll go ahead and put this back on. At the very least, we've got a good gas tank that'll have a new diaphragm on. So we got the gasket. You can kind of see that. Gasket for the diaphragm here, and then the diaphragm itself. Then we'll pop this on. Do the 5 screws. Don't force them in because you don't want them to mess up. Cross thread into the gasket or anything like that. So just kind of get them recessed in. Don't force the issue. And we'll screw them in now. Alright, let's screw them in. I go in a star pattern. 4. And number 5. Alright, so now don't forget your little spacer washer. Let me get this back on here to the end of the hole right there. Okay, and then we'll have the spring So we'll put this back on into the hole on the back of the carburetor if it decides it wants to go. There we go. This is one of the early primer bulb setup rigs, probably early 90s. 95, not terribly old. I think they started doing the primer bulb setup in about 91 or something like that. Alright, so this is that. .7/16. Put the spring back on. It goes in that little loop on that linkage. I could put a primer bulb in it. We'll see. I'll put a primer bulb in it, but I'll get it strapped back on first. Let me see if I can find my 1/4" impact. There we are. Half on the side. That's the 7/16, sorry. And then the half on the side. Don't go too tight. Last thing you want to do is break that tab off, because then your gas tank's toast if you do that. Oh, by the way, I put a wheel on it, if y'all could see. It matches actually the other side. It's one of those metal wheels, so it worked out nicely. I'm gonna get this thing an oil change. Y'all are gonna probably laugh at how bad this oil is in this thing. Here in just a second. I told you this was gonna be kind of hilarious, but there's what's coming out. It was straight water for the longest time, and then it finally dribbled out some of this gooiness. So I'll let it drain. Like I said, I think the blade's actually in good shape, believe it or not. Yeah, it's relatively sharp, actually. So we'll just we'll let that be, and get the oil changed in this and put some gas in it, and hopefully this thing will clear up enough for it to run and all that good stuff. And I'll then install a toggle switch and clean it up and send it on to its next rightful owner, I suppose. Alright, y'all, with all the water and stuff, I've cleaned it all out. That oil, I put a little bit of Small Engine Pro in there. Hopefully it'll help lubricate whatever water's left and try and purge it out of the system here. And hopefully I've got it all out of the tank. So let's see if I can get it to start for us. Darn thing's not priming for some reason. Son of a gun. That's too bad. Let me see if I can get some carb spray down there and see if I can get it to start. It's trying to. Not getting up through the power bulb into the engine, unfortunately. Ooh, that was a little bit extra. Alright, let's see what we got. See if I can at least get a start on this. give it some run time and see if we can figure out that carb thing with the primer bulb not priming. Alright y'all, I took the primer bulb off and there's a little check valve in there. It's around, it's like a little rubber ring around it. And I just sprayed that with carb cleaner until it decided it wanted to start spraying through, and now it's not incredibly strong, but it does prime, which is what we needed it to do, so that's good. So now what I'll do is I got the air filter. I'll go ahead and put the air filter on it, the new air filter. The other one was so crusted it was already falling apart. And then next I'll take the cover off here and we'll throw a pull rope in this thing, as well as wire one of them toggle switches that I usually do whenever I have a mower that's like this that doesn't have any sort of ground switch anymore because of the bad cable on it. So that's what I'll do next. Alright, putting the pull rope in is not hard at all. Y'all see me do it quite a bit. This one's got 3 7/16 inch bolts. Then we'll just pull this off. That's in good shape. It's got that style crankshaft on it. So now what I'm going to do, get some vice grips and pull rope, and I'll be right back and we'll put the rope in this thing. Alright, aerial view time. So you can see this pull rope, I believe, may be the original pull rope to the mower from 1995. We're just going to pull the rope out, which it's got plenty to work with here, that's for sure. We're going to lock it down with some vice grips. Okay. Alright, so we've done that. I'll go ahead and cut the end of this rope off. And then I'll pull this one out. And so I just cut the knots off the end. This gives me, since the rope is still complete and I've still got to get the old rope out of there with some sort of rod. But what this does is it gives me a little bit of an idea about how long of a rope I need to cut here. So let me take the rope that I have, pull some of it out, start on one end, and we're just gonna ride it out to the other end here. Alright, so that's the other end. I'm going to cut it about that much longer, so I'll cut it about right here to accommodate for the knots and whatnot I'm going to put on it. Next order of business, I'll burn the end that goes in this side. Oh, come on. There we go. So we're getting nice and burned. Take the shirt, point it, make it into a pointy end. Then we're going to take it through the hole. See if we can get it to go into the hole we need to for Alright, so we got it in there. Well, let's see if we can get it to come out. Let me grab some little needle nose pliers. And that should get us up through here, hopefully. Darn. So this is the hard part, just getting it up through here. Alright, well I'll get that up through there, and I'll grab a little rod to get the old knot out of here. Actually, I might be able to get it out of here with this, because there's a little thing sticking out of it. There we go. So, I can burn the other end while I'm here. Put it in at least. While y'all are watching. There we go. Might be getting low on my cigarette lighter here. It's probably only about 10 years old too, because I obviously don't smoke. So burn the end, pull it through, work it around, or give it a little bit of a curvature so that whenever it gets up here, hopefully we can get it to turn. If not, I'll see if these pliers will get this. Alright, so we're 1 for 2 on those pliers. I double knot them usually. One. Extra insurance is what I like to call it. And knot number 2. Alright. Pull it back. And all I need to do is just pull this side up, which hopefully we can do here. Oh, almost had it. Oh well, I'll get that double knotted. I'll put the cover back on, which y'all saw, and then we'll install that switch that I'm talking about. Alright y'all, before I put the engine cover back on, I wanted to show you the setup that I use for these toggle switches. So I got these switches, and then I've got a wire, I zip tied around an existing hole in the handle. I've got a ground wire running from the switch, to the pull rope eyelet to act as a ground, and then I've got a wire running from the switch down to the ground wire, which I take off of this mechanism, and then I zip tie that mechanism together and put pliers on it. I'll show you that. I can show you that pretty quickly here. So I'll zip tie this. I go through the eyelet here and then up. Actually, I can honestly probably do this and be fine. That keeps that open. Just cutting the ends off of that. And so when I put the engine cover back on, which has the new pull rope on it, by the way, just kind of wiggle that in there. Okay, perfect. I'll go ahead and link that up here. Alright. Put my screws back in. got to make sure that wire's not going to get pinched whenever you do that. What I just did. And it's coming out and it's free, so that's fine. 7/16. And 3. Okay, that should be it for this. Now we'll get it out here. Hopefully it won't crank without a primer because I want to see if the primer bulb works. We'll get it out here. Pardon the oil spots. I had a Murray rear engine rider that leaked all over the place. So, I've mentioned this in a couple of videos before, but you have to think of it as the ground wire being on or off. So if the ground wire is on, like the eye, it will ground the engine out. If the ground wire is off, will allow spark, or it won't allow ground, so it leaves the engine running. So let's see if that works. Sometimes I do have to run a wire down to the frame, so we'll see. Didn't want to work at first, but I got it to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to button this up with some electrical tape, give it a wash, and then we'll be ready for a final look of this thing, and we will be done with it. This will be a nice like $50 mower or something for somebody. Pretty minimal work, just a ton of water in it, but hey, keeping it from the landfill, right? With very minimal work nonetheless, because of what's on it. And things will pretty much run all day long, forever. Alright y'all, I want to show you on this carburetor what I did to fix the primer. You see that little red ring? You can kind of see a light going through it right there in the middle of the camera. So there inside there's supposed to be a check ball, and on the other side of the check ball there's supposed to be a spring. Now the check ball on this mower was pretty deteriorated and wasn't allowing primer action to happen, so I replaced that, and we have very strong primer now, which is awesome. So this thing does have a little bit of blow by, which is to be expected as the condition of the engine, but it still runs good. I wanted to show you all that before I got it washed and did a final look for this thing though. But hey, easy fix for that primer. Thankfully I have a bunch of spare carbs around here that help me out. Alright guys, here's the Rally push mower all finished up. After I did the check valve, I did have to dump the gas out of it because it still had some oil or some water in it, so I had to do that. But let me show you all that it runs and all that good stuff, and we'll wrap this thing up. Shut off switch works good and all that good stuff. So I'm glad this one ended up being pretty easy. A little burnout today. Did a bunch of work over the weekend on mowers, but that's what kind of why I wanted to drag this one out and just get a push mower running, make me feel good for the day, you know, with all the other projects that I have in the backyard. Just a couple, right? So just a couple, but again, if it's anything in this video, it's a testament that these old Briggs classic engines will just run and run and run. They're like the Energizer Bunny, really. Even with this one, full of water in the crankcase, full of water in the gas tank. I put a new oil in it, carburetor, diaphragm. I had to replace the check valve. That was the one little extra thing that I had to do. And then the blade was already sharp, so installed the toggle switch and a pull rope, and we got a mower. You know, spent about an hour, hour and a half, and sell something that's going to be worth about 50 bucks. So I appreciate y'all watching as always. Again, website's ellismowers.com. All the information that you need to connect with me is on that website, as well as in the description below in the video. Thank y'all for the support as always. Hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Take care.